Welcome to the exciting world of tap tempo switch building. All right, guys and gals. I've got this 1590 LB case. I'm going to make a little tap tempo switch and just give you a quick rundown of how you could make your own. All right, so I'm going to start by drilling out this case, and I'm going to have the switch in this orientation to leave space for a jack. Anyways, here we go. I'm going to get a punch to mark some holes for drilling. Okay. Yes, you will notice I am completely eyeing this. Not the best idea, but here we are. And I'll put the jack a little bit to the left. Again, just eyeing it. Now, hopefully that doesn't bite me in the ass later, but I think it's going to be completely fine. So we will go over to the drill. Okay, we are at the drill press, and I always like to start with something small. Don't go right away to a 1/2-inch bit to try to drill out that puncture mark. So I'll go with this. Looks like, I don't know, somewhere between 1/8 and 1/4 of an inch, like in the middle, whatever that is. Oh, it probably says on. I can't read that. Anyways, yeah, let's just cram it in here. Not sure why I'm taking you guys along for this ride of putting the bit in the chuck, but here we are. Makes for a lot of starting and stopping otherwise. I like to use a wooden block to have my stuff on for some reason. So I'll lower the press down, make contact with the hole, the indent that I've punctured. Hold the box tight. Oh yeah, I set my press to 1100 RPM, which is a little bit slower. It can go up to, I think, 35, but when you're going into like soft metal, I think it's wise to go a bit slower. I could be wrong. Somebody correct me in the comments. So make sure it's lined up somewhat decently. This is kind of a last check at placement. Oh my goodness. What am I doing here? All right, I don't know. I think it's centered where I had punctured it. We'll find out. It's a lot more evident once the switch is in there how off center it is. So measuring is always a good idea. Don't get me wrong. Pilot hole for the foot switch. If you're into making pedals, you need a drill press. Get the shavings off so I don't make little gouges in the bear case. All right, 2 pilot holes. I will change to a step bit and show you how to get them to size. So I usually have 3 sizes of step bit, and I go with the middle one. But right now I can only find the skinny guy and the fat guy. So I'll start with skinny. Let's do the jack output. Actually, move this up a bit. Good size hole. Gonna get rid of these shavings. All right, so I just drilled out the foot switch hole as well. It was the very last one on this step bit. So I saved you the, I think you got the gist of it from the first hole. So I'm going to take a little file and smooth out these holes, and we're going to go over to the soldering iron. Might as well kind of give you the gist on this. I like a micro file, half round, just flat on one side, half circle on the other side. And I use the round side. And I like it better than a round file because it's wider than the radius of a round file. That is this size. So I'll just do that. Touch up the edges so it's not so sharp and shitty. All right. So we've got our holes drilled, smoothed out, ready for stuff. This is 22 gauge wiring. It's my little trick for stripping wire. Heat it up real quick with a lighter, grab it with my fingernail, rip it off. Okay. I'm a twisty wire kind of guy. Even if just for aesthetic. I like to do this. Nice little twisty wire. So if I remember correctly, it doesn't matter which lug goes to which pin. Got this fancy block I made that holds various jacks for soldering purposes. So this is a stereo jack, but it doesn't matter. You just use the 2 lugs you need. So the tip is this guy. So let's make that red. Got some old solder here, so I'll heat it up. And even though that solder looks fresh and good, the solder that was already on that lug, I always add some fresh solder to the mix. It flows together and possibly helps make a better connection. That's my theory. So now the ring, not the ring, the sleeve. Oh, see, I'm going to the wrong one. I was going to the ring. Maybe that's why I said it. Actually, just going to bend this wire a bit so it directs itself in place better. I lay my soldering iron flat on the lug and touching the wire. Nice shiny solder joints. Again, clean my tip as usual. Add a little bit of fresh solder to the mix. Like so. So I might spare you just soldering the, 2 more lugs. It doesn't matter which one I'm putting these to. At least I don't think it does, and we'll find out when we test. Hang tight. All right, so this is what we ended up here. Tip going to one side, sleeve going to the other side. Momentary switch. That's why it doesn't matter that which lug is going to which. At least that's my theory. So we'll case it up and try it out. All right, so switch is all wired up, installed, closed. Time for testing. All right, took out my trusty Boss DDA 7, I don't know. I think it's a 7, this one. Maybe an 8, either 8, yeah, you get it. And got a delay, tap tempo, switch. Just takes 2 taps, and it basically takes the time in between those 2 taps. And that's it. You have officially made a tap tempo switch in a tiny little case. Thanks for watching. Comment, like, subscribe. Word to your mother.